Bethan's kitchen and garden. Today I'm in a very windy garden and I really want to see what's going on inside my hot bin composter. So that's what we're going to do today. It is raining and windy, so I'm going to try and get on with this as quick as I can. So we're going to start off by getting the leachate out, which is sort of like the liquid runoff, and then we'll see what's in here. So I'll bring you in for a closer look as I do that. So I'm not sure how much is going to come out of here. But this is all the sort of liquid that's been gathering in the bottom. So it's just about coming to an end now, and I'm not getting any smell off it or anything. So hopefully it'll be good on my flowers and vegetables in the coming months. Right, I think I'll put the cap back on. And now we'll see what's happening with the compost. That came off quite easily. Well, it's not as well rotted down as I thought it was going to be. You can still see the layers and things. So let's see what it's like in the middle. Nice stroke there. There's quite a few leaves here I can see. Well, I'm going to get more of this first bit out and then I'll bring you back to see what it's like in the middle. Well, I'm about halfway through now, like going that way, and this stuff looks a little bit better, but it's still all extremely wet and nowhere near as composted down as I was expecting. So I'm a slightly bit disappointed with this, but where it will come in handy will be as a sort of initial layer in my beds. Instead of sort of putting it on top and planting into it, it will go down the bottom and then I'll buy in compost to go on the top. So in that regard, it seems to be quite a large amount for that. So I'm going to get on now with emptying the rest of it out. And the other thing is, as I'm pulling this bit out, everything that's up here is coming down. So I think I need to look into it a bit more and see if I'm meant to have filled it all the way up to the top or not. My understanding was you were, but maybe I was wrong. So I'll have a look at that. I'll bring you back anyway when I've finished doing all this. As predicted, this is now all empty because it all collapsed down. So there's nothing in there anymore. Instead, it's all in my compost heap there because all that at the top hadn't rotted down, and in these bags here is what has rotted down. So I've got 3 bags of this, not as composted down as I would have liked, but I can still use it, so it hasn't gone to waste. So that's 2.5 bags there, and the bottle of leachate to use as a fertiliser. Well, it's been a couple of days since I unearthed the hot bin composter, and as you could tell, I was very disappointed with the compost that I had, and I wanted to understand what had gone wrong. So I went away and I did a little bit of research, and I think what's happened is I hadn't put enough sort of wood chip in there, which keeps it aerated, and I think everything had kind of squished down. So I got an anaerobic composting instead of aerobic composting, which basically means that not enough oxygen got between the decomposing materials, and I think that's because I put a load of my chicken manure in there, and it wasn't just fresh chicken manure, it was also the bedding, because when I sort of take the manure out every day, there's no glamorous way that I know of doing it. I put a marigold on, and I just put my hand in the coop and just take out the poo, and as I'm taking out the poo, I'm taking out a handful of the easy chick that is down as their bedding, and I think the easy chick is really hard wood and composts down a lot slower than the other materials that I should have been putting in the compost bin. So I think that's where it all has gone wrong. So I'm going to stick very rigidly with what they've recommended to put in, which I'll show you now. And I'm just going to gather some more materials that I need from some of the plants that have gone to seed around the place. And I'll show you the plants now, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with the compost bin. This is the broccoli rabe, which has featured in a few of my vlogs over the winter, because I've not had much luck in growing it before. But this time it did grow well, but it was very, very bitter when we tried it. So essentially all of this is going to be chopped down and is going in the compost. Similarly, this pineapple top, which I was going to grow a pineapple plant from, but nothing is going on underneath. There's no roots showing, and to be honest, I have far too much going on at the moment to be messing about with pineapple plants. The other items that will be going into the compost will be these cabbages, because when this lid got blown off in the storm, these were sort of like left to fly around like that in the wind, and they'd be sheltered and cosseted in this cold frame all the winter, so they hadn't really been exposed, and then all of a sudden they were exposed to gusty winds doing that all the time, and it's essentially stressed the plant, and the plant has started to put up a flower shoot, a flower stalk. So if I wanted to, I could leave it grow up and I could harvest the seeds, but this is January King and I don't really want to keep any January king anymore. Similarly, I'm not sure about my cauliflower either. It's not looking the best in the world, in all honesty. I'm not seeing any flower stalks coming from there yet, but if I do, I'll chop that up and put it in the compost over the next coming weeks as well. So I'm going to get on with cutting up those bits fairly small now, and I'll bring you back when I'm done, and I'll assemble all my materials and I'll talk you through what I'm going to do. There lies the remains of the broccoli and cabbage. Then in here is the wood chip that provides the aeration, and in here I asked for this from my son's school this morning. I was like, have you got any shredded paper? And they do. So what the quantities are is 1 of them full, and then 2/5 of that volume of shredded paper, and then 1/5 of that volume of wood chip, if I'm making any sense at all. So it kind of goes 5, 2/5, 1/5. Right, let's get on with filling this hot bin composter. Can you believe it's sunny now? It has been snowing this morning. I kid you not, this weather is just crazy at the moment. But it's really, really cold today, so I'm wrapped up warm. Oh, and the other thing I didn't mention was I have a hot water bottle to go in the hot bin composter, but I'll show you that when we get to that point. And now in with the hot water pack. And then I'll leave that for a couple of days, and I'll add more as and when I get it. I will now need to go on a hunt for more materials to go in my hot bin composter. Ideally, I would like to mow the grass, but it's so wet that there's no point. And if I'd mown the grass, then I probably would have got quite a lot of bulk to go in there, but I haven't, so that's just how it is. Hopefully I'll find some more as a couple of days progress. Well, that's it from me for today. I'd just like to say thank you ever so much for all your kind comments about the damage I had to my greenhouse. I was really touched by all the comments. Thank you very much. And I do understand that in the great grand scheme of things, it was only a few onion and leek seedlings. Some people have lost their worldly possessions and, you know, old picture albums, you know, from years ago from relatives that just can't be replaced because their houses have been flooded out and all that. So in the great grand scheme of things, what happened to me wasn't that bad, was it really? So but thank you all the same for all your comments. It was very muchly appreciated. So all I can say about this now is I really hope this hot bin composter works this time, because I wouldn't know what to do if it doesn't otherwise. But I'm going to stick with putting those ingredients in, or materials in. That's probably all I'll put in this time, unless I can get some grass clippings or some other kind of clippings. But that's it. I'm not going to be putting any chicken manure in there just yet. So that's it from me for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye bye.